scp-5014. Object Class: Neutralized Special Containment Procedures. SCP-5014's body is to be kept in a standard human cadaver storage chamber. Foundation personnel may only examine SCP-5014's body with Level -1 clearance or above. Description: SCP-5014 was a 29-year-old Anglo-American human male, standing 1.63 meters tall and weighing 75 kilograms. SCP-5014 was previously thought to be physically immortal and had previously demonstrated incredible durability against various forms of trauma and bodily harm. SCP-5014 had previously endured the following with no adverse effects: assault via firearm, blunt force, repeated stabbing, immolation, consumption and inhalation of toxins, explosives, long-term exposure to a vacuum, self-inflicted harm. During and between recorded experiments, SCP-5014 had claimed to previously be vulnerable, as evidenced through a burn scar on the back of its right hand, which it claimed was from an incident with a stovetop. It is yet unknown what caused SCP-5014 to gain its anomalous properties. SCP-5014's cadaver shows no sign of anomalous durability. As such, it has since been classified as neutralized as of Incident 501401 on September 27, 2022. Incident 501401 possibly on September 27, 2022, during a routine experimentation session with SCP-5014, researcher Faith Debelt, wielding a firearm previously used in prior experiments, successfully neutralized SCP-5014 with a single shot to the forehead. Post-mortem examination concludes that approximately 6 seconds passed between the bullet entering SCP-5014's skull and its death. An investigation was later put in place to determine the reason behind its death. Suspects of note are listed below, as submitted by Foundation researchers in the order of submission. Open Dossier Footnote 1. Worked with SCP-5014 often prior to its death.